Okay, James.
Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Portsmouth Coffee Talks Evening Edition. My name is James Slim Overton, and I'm here with co-host Leah Drake Stick, Thomas the Colonel Chapman, and we're here. Hold on, I just got a message from Clue, but go ahead, co-host, chat up.
Okay, Colonel, it's good seeing you this evening, and
Of course. Every day is a good day.
every day is a good day. Hope you had a productive day today.
Yes, I did. Got a lot of stuff done. I got in late yesterday evening from DC.
Clue is
And-
now.
Go
I didn't
ahead.
hear you, James.
She's logging in now. She had a 7:20 time.
7:20. So while you're waiting for her to log in, did you?
Yeah, go ahead. Y'all go ahead and finish. Colonel, you were talking.
Yeah. And just made it because I was gone for the last couple of days. And so I had to hit the ground running out here. And I'm trying to play catch-up ball.
Yeah, I think we're all on that catch-up mode now.
Yeah.
See how we're going to get there.
Yes. But
So-
it's always a good thing.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good week. It's hard to believe the week is almost over again. And I know that the fire department is having their community event on Saturday, and I think that starts at 11 o'clock if I'm not mistaken. And it's going to be at the Sportsplex. So they're going
Okay.
to have a community day at the Sportsplex on Saturday. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's from 11 until 2. So if you want to come out and enjoy some time with the fire department, the police department, the sheriff's office, they're all going to be out there. And it's a Portsmouth Fire Rescue and Emergency Services vendor at the Senior Health Education Fair. So it's going to be an afternoon. Let me try to see all that they're going to have here. I'm sorry, it's the Portsmouth Fire Rescue Community Day at the Portsmouth Sportsplex. And it is on October 15th from 11 until 2 p.m. They're going to have DJ, food, games, bounce houses, snow cones, cotton candy, basketball tournament, and much, much more. Safety awareness, hands-on CPR, fire prevention, and fall risk prevention. If you need to know more, you can contact Captain Sharice Orton of the Portsmouth Fire Department. That should be a fun day. I know the Sheriff's Department, we will be out there. We will have our vendors table out there. So come on out and enjoy an afternoon with the fire department. So they're going to talk to you about how you can plan your escape from your home should there be a fire. So there's going to be a lot going on Saturday. And we encourage each and every one of you to come out to the Sportsplex on Saturday for the Portsmouth Fire Department's Community Day.
Well, that's good. Yes, that's great information, Leah. As we get closer to the election, I hope these folks will come out because this is one of the most important elections that we had. I watched a little bit of the debate between Laura and Kagan's, who is a big time Trumper, has no clue and no platform, no nothing other than platitudes. And the main thing she wants to do is actually there's nothing she wants to do other than get in office.
Yeah, they need to go. You need to go and check her voting record in the
She
General
doesn't have a
Assembly.
voting record.
I understand that she didn't do very much when she was there. So
well, in the Senate, she didn't do anything.
She didn't do anything at all. So
and so
you need to vet these people who are running for office and make sure that they're about what they say that they're about.
Yeah. And actually, this one's dangerous. And dangerous.
And the point of the matter is too, should we lose the House, we're in danger because there will be no laws passed in the House if all the Republicans get in.
Yes. Nothing will will happen. Nothing will happen. And they are in, as you know, in the House, they allocate all the money. So
Mhm,
all these programs that people are dependent on,
mhm.
food stamps, even though more whites get food stamps than black folks, but the perception is that's one of our programs. You can see a massive cut in that. And everything else that is out there, they want to be rolled back. Drug prices will go back. Your cost for your health care will go up.
Exactly.
Everything is going to turn around. People talk about, well, we're going to vote for our pocketbook because inflation. Tell me one thing that the Republicans did in the last 2 years to say that they have a clue on how to do something against inflation.
Leah, she says she's waiting on the host. Excuse me, Colonel.
I don't
Okay.
know where she is because I don't have anybody in my waiting room. Ask her, she's doing 817. Could you ask her which one is she trying to get into? For those of you, we're waiting. Lakisha Atkinson is scheduled to come on the first half hour of Portsmouth Coffee Talk, and she said that she's trying to get onto the Zoom page. We're waiting for her to come on so that she can share with us her goals and her dreams as far as the Portsmouth City Council is concerned. So James is trying to contact her now. And as soon as she comes on, we will be ready to rock and roll here on Portsmouth Coffee Talk Thursday evening edition.
Yes, a little technical difficulty, folks trying to get this thing done. They just gotta wait us out.
Okay, I sent her the code again, so hopefully that will help her get in. And anyway, you know what y'all were talking about. It's funny how the candidates that the Republicans pick, and you said the young lady is dangerous. They either want dangerous candidates
Or crazy.
no clue candidates.
Clueless.
It's
Clueless.
still in that position, and you know, and I think that's kind of bad when it comes down. You know, you want to.
Okay, our guest is coming on.
It's coming in. Okay, I'll hold that off until later.
Hello, lady.
She's still connected. I think she's there now. Okay.
Hey, how are you?
Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
Good, 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 good.
All
Busy, huh?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I had two different links. It had me for coming on at 7:30, the one in my email.
Oh, we're sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry about that. But anyway, we have you now, so we never cry over spilled milk here. We always march on. You know, we always
Right. No
we're
worries,
glad
no
you're here.
worries.
And for watching, we have Lakisha. I say that because you got those two S's in there. Is that the right way to say it? Lakisha. You have to.
Well, I got the double E.
Yeah.
So I got two E's in mine. So Lakisha, yep.
Lakisha.
As opposed to the
Lakisha.
that Onyx has. But anyway, Lakeesha Atkinson is our guest, and she is currently the vice chair of the Portsmouth School Board, and she's seeking office for a position as a city councilman in Portsmouth. So after the colonel gives his disclaimer, the Colonel will start off our discussion.
Yes, for those folks out there in electron land, the views stated on this program are the host and the guest being the candidate today, and just us. And so that'll keep us out of Facebook jail. But I will start off with something I got to get off my chest first. Clue, we are so glad to see you. That you've come out here to answer the questions so that the voters can see you and see what you've done, hear what you've done in the past and what you're going to do in the future. And we also want to acknowledge those who are still running. I mean, not running for office, but running from the voters that decided not to come on, meaning Mr. Paul Battle, Mr. Folksy himself, and his compadre of the Four Horsemen. And I don't even, it shames me to say his name because they're a disgrace to the city council now. So I'm gonna end it like that. But Clue, how you doing?
I'm great. I'm glad to be on. Y'all
Yes.
bring the heavy hitters on. I don't think it's a person in Portsmouth that haven't been on the show. I'm hoping that, y'all probably gonna have Wanda Sykes pretty soon,
Hey, girl, we're working on it, baby.
We're working on it.
It's all good. Yeah, come on. But tell
We're
us
trying
about
for Adrian
yourself
Wong.
and your platform. Let's get down to business. We ain't got for so much time. So I'm going for the, we're going to go for it now. Tell us what you
Okay.
plan to do.
Just 1 minute. Let me tell Cardell that I'm going to put him in the waiting room.
Mhm.
Just a minute.
Yeah, because, yeah.
Just 1 minute, Clue.
Okay.
Cardell, I'm going to put you in the waiting room if you don't mind until we finish with Clue.
Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you. Let me put you in the waiting room. Okay.
We're running a little behind, Cardell. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Clue.
All right, awesome. So hello, everyone. My name is Lakisha Clue Atkinson. I currently serve as vice chair of the school board. I'm currently right now on my second term on the school board. I decided to run for council because I feel like the changes and the influence that I've made on school board, that I can implement that same mindset and goals to move our city forward. And that includes, my professionalism, my boardmanship skills, and my advocacy and activism. So, of course, being a school board member, I'm running on a platform of education, of fully funding our schools and also providing opportunities from a city perspective for funding the schools and getting the trade schools back and providing the school system with the additional needs that may arise annually within the budget. Also running off a platform of course, public safety. Public safety is not a new thing or a new, I think everyone is using it, as the campaign thing, but public safety has been an issue in our city. I feel like there's some things that we can improve with public safety, and it takes a united council in order to implement change in public safety in our city, whether that's funding the police and fire department equally in comparison to our neighboring cities, providing them with the vehicles and the technology that they need to perform their duties, and also retaining them by doing competitive studies to see how those who may have been in the police department or the fire department for 5+ years, and their pay is not so much attractive to those who are coming in. So from a public safety perspective, there's some things that we can do. Also economic development. I say this in every form. I believe our city can prosper through sports, entertainment, and art. The success of other cities have been due to this. So I do believe in economic development from those angles. And I also believe that being that we are in the toll burning city, that there's other things we can do to help our small businesses, whether that's providing them with grants and also providing them with opportunities like the sports, entertainment, arts, to bring people to the city to where they can frequent and shop our small businesses. So that's a short wrap up. I'm used to getting cut off, but
Clue, you said you said that it has to be a united council.
right.
Currently everyone sees our council as being totally dysfunctional. What do you think you would bring to the table to help this unity to come about?
Gotcha. So when you unite it, it doesn't necessarily means that each person has the same opinion. Each person can have a different opinion, but it's all how you can bring that together to make that a united front. So like I said, everyone on any board is not going to be on the same page, but how can we take pieces of what you're trying to do, pieces of what you're trying to do, and put it all together. So that's my idea of united, taking everyone's ideas and putting them all together so each person can be, satisfied with what they're trying to do, because everyone has their own campaign platforms and own objectives that that they want to get done for the city. So it's about bringing it all together and as one.
Clue, I have a question, if I may. Well, first, let me shout out Madonna Brown Miles, watching from Maryland. A good
That's my
old
girl,
VUU.
Madonna.
Yeah, good old VUU.
Yes.
Alum.
Okay. Hey,
Portsmouth.
Marilyn.
And I believe she went to Wilson.
All right, President.
Poor baby.
But she did redeem herself.
I can't escape the Norcom. I can't escape that Maroon family.
Yes, indeed.
But anyway, Clue, I know as far as being a candidate, it's important that you be up on the issues and everything like that. But how important do you feel, if any, is it to have another woman's perspective on the city council?
I think a woman's perspective is important because, just in general, women are logical thinkers by nature. That's not, just a statement that I'm making. That's facts. That's been studied. That's been researched that, women are logical thinkers, and we're not necessarily always headstrong, and we're able to see different perspectives and align them together. So I think it is more important to get some women energy on the council.
So saying that, especially with your involvement with the schools, and you're bringing that energy. I'm switching now. You bring that energy, being a two-termer, almost two-termer on the school board and vice chair. How much do you think you can bring to the table having that kind of experience? Because this past year was one of the first years where it was claimed that it was fully funded.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I beg to differ with that, but that's just me. But anyway, how do you feel your experience on the school board? You've been there. How would that benefit?
Right. So with being fully funded, it's just less stressful to the school board. We all sit down with council each year prior to budget season. Our superintendent go over their estimate of needs. So it was just like this year was just so peaceful. We didn't have to go on Facebook and say, hey, we need everybody to come to the city council meeting, and rally for funds for education. And that should never be the case, even though Virginia Beach, of course, Virginia Beach has a lot of money, but one thing about Virginia Beach is you can never say that their council isn't about education. They overfund education to the point where their school board gives money back. So from coming from that school board perspective and that knowledge of our budget and what's needed in the schools, I think it's easier to convince my colleagues on what matters the most because I was once in that seat.
Co-host, I have one more question.
Okay.
Clue, it's been a lot of pushback by some people about candidates or people holding the office already and not finishing their term before they run for another position. And some people might think if the law, it used to be where you would have to give up your seat in order to run for another position.
Right.
And if that was the case now, would you still be running?
If that was the case where we had to fulfill our terms first, absolutely. I already fulfilled one term. And I understand that mindset because, you want to see, sometimes you can't get everything done in a short period of time. So I understand when people say, hey, you haven't fulfilled a term or you haven't fulfilled your whole term because, there's some things that, you still have to get done. But however, if that was the case and I had to finish out my second term, I still would run for council that following election year.
Okay.
Well, you know what, and I'll jump in here now. And Clue, you made a statement about fully funding, and I always say, and you also address fully funding and the cliche of public safety. And all of the candidates talk about public safety. And everybody says we need more cops. More cops does not equal less crime.
Right.
Statistics says that. And then but I go back to looking at the diversity of the public safety people in uniform, especially at the Portsmouth Police Department, and even looking at the fire department, where neither one of those, when you look at the diversity numbers, they're not reflective of the city.
Right.
Everybody has come on so far and says, I am going to look at that and trying to correct that, but I've never seen anything happen with that. And so, and this is just not a black-white thing, but it's also women versus men. It's still a good old boy system in the police department, and especially in the fire department. And and it goes back to the hiring process that we have in city government, and should be championed by the city manager, but we haven't heard anything about that yet. And she hadn't fired that person yet. So whoever's in HR, who's in charge of that hiring piece. But what can you do to help with the diversity piece? So I can look, when I drive down through the city, that I can look at, I won't see what I call Bubba putting the lights on me and driving while black because I have a nice car.
Right. I definitely understand what you're saying. And nowadays, to have a department reflective of your city is challenging. It's challenging across the board in the hiring process now, especially with African American officers. There is a lack of interest for African Americans being police officers. So it's not many that are applying. So with our city, we can basically start, with the schools and see how we can implement a partnership program for students graduating from high school to go directly and to the police academy. That's the only way right now I could see as far as like recruitment numbers being more African Americans, because like I said, it's a lack of, and also partnering with the HBCUs as well. So we have Norfolk State here, and we have Virginia State not too far, VUU not too far. So I think to get more African American officers, we can partner with the high schools and also partner with the universities in this area to create a program.
Yeah.
So,
you also, go ahead, Leah.
Okay. Clue, sometimes when you go to council meeting and you listen to some of the questions that the councilman ask, it's pretty obvious that either they didn't read the information prior to the council meeting, or they didn't go to the board commission hearing to find out what's going on. Based upon those questions, you wonder, do they take the time to study? How prepared are you to actually study what's going on? So you better be prepared to share with the citizens what's going on. Also, this is kind of a convoluted question here. What do you share? What can you share with us about your knowledge of understanding balance sheets, comprehending profits and losses, setting priorities, understanding budgets, and understanding when business come into the city, how to work with those individuals who come into the city? I know it was a lot in there, but I want to get it in because I know our time is running short. Okay.
I got you. So,
Clue.
yeah.
Before you answer that, I add one. Lack of bandwidth should be added to that list that Leah said. But I'll say that. Go ahead.
Okay.
Listen, as
That's
a citizen already, I feel like before you even take any seat in government, you have to have a heart for the city, and you also have to have knowledge of your city. So I feel like if you aren't interested as a city, what makes the difference interest as an elected official? So me personally, I'm already engaged in the city process prior to being on school board and now. So I understand the committees, I understand the meetings, I understand the timing of the meetings, and being on any board right now is not how it used to be. You can't just show up at the council meetings and that's that. To be honest, it's a process. It's a day-to-day process that requires a lot of time commitment outside of your committee meetings. So I'm committed to, serve not just on Portsmouth City Council, but attend those committee meetings that my colleagues may put me on. And also, as far as my experience with finance, I have a slight finance background because I did work for a Fortune 100 company in which we focused on accounting, and that's where I learned, the balancing of the budgets, losses and profit and things like that. So I already have that experience, and to be honest, I feel like if you're on a board, there should be some type of professional development. There should be some type of team building, so everyone is on one accord. Whether they're knowledgeable about something or not, it's never too late to learn anything.
Clue, I have to ask, one of my concerns is the stability of the city manager, and typically city managers in any city don't last for 7 to 8 years, and because they move on or something goes wrong. How do you feel about the stability that over the last few months about our city manager? And, it really affects the economic development process because a lot of big developers, they want stability in the leadership as far as when they come in to negotiate, they start out, they want to end up with that same person they did the negotiation. That's not always a perfect world, but in most cases, you want to have that kind of stability. So how do you feel, and what would you do in trying to make sure we have stability in that position? Because it starts with the council and making sure they pick the right person.
Gotcha. So you're right. Stability shows balance, and just like when you're balancing a book, balance shows stability. Balance bring in dollars. So in order, to do that, I think it's all about having that relationship with your colleagues, because if you have that professional relationship, then, like I said, it's certain things that wouldn't happen when you have that relationship. Relationship is everything. However, like you said, you're right. Right now, it's looking a little shaky, but I think that shakiness and that image of Portsmouth is because the lack of transparency and the lack of communication. So we actually need a communication person, for the city of Portsmouth, someone that, So citizens are not able to formulate their own conclusions on what happened. It's a lot of rumors, and that's our city fault, because we are left to formulate our own opinion. So we do need, like a PR person or communication person to get things like that out to the city and answer, a lot of the whys of what's, and a lot of what's going on.
And and right now, Portsmouth is really like the laughing stock of the nation. I mean, I have friends in well, I should say the world. I have friends in Australia, Texas, Alabama. They wait for Tuesday night city council meeting. They watch it like they're watching a soap opera. You understand? And what is your thoughts on what can we do to put our city in a better light? Because right now, we're like the laughing stock of the nation. People are talking across the nation about little old Portsmouth, Virginia, and they're not talking about us in a positive way.
Leah, you're absolutely right. I go to other cities and people say, we watch your city council meetings. They say we don't even watch our own city council meetings.
That's right. That's right.
It's
the crew. My girlfriend said they get their popcorn ready.
Yeah,
they're ready to sit down and watch Portsmouth City Council at work.
They're ready. I think we gotta turn that negative into a positive. While we have so many people engaged, I don't think we're actually taking advantage of that moment. And I wonder, do they realize that we have different people tuned in? And by us having that, that everyone tuned in, like I said, we need to grasp this moment and build upon that regionalism and people watching, like I said, it's a good opportunity to turn that negative into.
But Clue, right now, there will not be any regionalism, because I don't think there's a city around us who would want to bring Portsmouth in as a part of their regional goal. Okay, so we have work to do. We have work to do.
We do.
And as we wind down, I admit I didn't keep up with the time, but anyway, what our purpose was with all the candidates to give them an opportunity. Well, really, it's for the audience and the voters and the citizens to get a chance to see the candidates in a different light beyond the forms. The forms are good, but we wanted the citizens to know who the candidates were, and our questions might be a little different. We don't go into policy because they do that a lot with on the form, but we want people to know who Clue is and who all the other candidates who come up here are, so they can make a informed decision on November 8th when they go there. And we appreciate you coming here, and we want to, I want to give Colonel, if he has anything else to say, and then Clue will give you the last word of convincing people why they should vote for you.
You know what? And that's a loaded thing, because if he's giving me the mic, I can stay here all night. But I know
and we do know, Colonel, and we know.
Colonel, you a typical Cowboys fan, and I can't expect anything less than that.
Yes. But if let me hear your 2-minute I love me speech on why the citizens should choose you over the other candidates are running.
Okay. It's I got you. So with me, it's all about, I never liked the term politician. I'm more of a peopletician. I'm a people person. I'm in my community. This is not like work for me. I enjoy doing things in Portsmouth. I enjoy being a part of the process of getting things done and helping out, the city. I think, when I say proven leadership, I can back, everything that I say up, especially when I ran for school board, everything that I ran on, I literally can check that off. And that was prior to even running for reelection. So, I definitely am one to keep my word, on what I run off. If I feel like it's something that, is not possible, I'm honest about that. You have to understand that, the things you do and the things you say, people hold that against you. So, you know, if you want to go out here and say, hey, you can do these things and make it happen, knowing that it's really not possible, then that falls back on you. So I'm one person of my word. You know, if you look into the things that in the past, like I said, that I ran off, it's everything I said I do. I'm an activist at heart, so I have that fight energy to where, you know, if I say I'm gonna get it done, I'm gonna make it happen. And that's one thing that differs with me. I know we have one other activist, but when you have an activist on your team, it's just like a good thing, because you know it's gonna get done. We're a big ball of energy. We always want to see change, and me personally, I want to see change, and I have done things prior to being on city council to move the city forward. I mean, we had the first festival in our city in which we brought people from 15 different states to the city. You know, it was a big win for the small businesses, and it's other ideas and things that we can do, especially to advance our city, especially with public-private partnerships. I don't feel like we're reaching out to those who have left our city and been successful to bring them back, you know, make them feel welcome. So, hey, I'm just one of, you know, transparency, integrity, and I'm a community person. So if you're looking for, you know, a politician, do not vote for me. If you're looking for a servant at heart, then vote for me on November 8th.
So, you know, I have a question. You said something there. You said there's one other activist. Are you willing to tell me who that activist is?
Oh, the other Keisha, we fought together to get things changed
Okay.
in the city. So,
But
you know,
yeah, I know. I knew where you were headed. I just had to say that. Okay. But Keisha, I too want to say thank you so very much for agreeing to come on. And you can tell some of those who chose not to come on, hey, it's not such a bad place to go, because we're not here to beat up on anyone. We're here to let the public know that who these individuals are, so that they can make sound decisions as to who they should vote for, who's going to be for the betterment of the city of Portsmouth, which is the most important part of it all. So I'm glad that you chose to come. For a while there, somebody must have told Clue not to come on our show today, because she ain't up here yet. Listen, but Clue, I'm so happy I'm happy that you chose to come on. I'm happy that you were able to share your platform with us, and citizens of Portsmouth need to know that voting has already started. So weigh your candidates well, vet your candidates.
Absolutely.
And so, Clue, I just want to say,
I encourage that, Miss Leah, for everyone to research their candidates.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's right. So, Clue, I want to once again thank you for coming on, and we appreciate having you on this evening, and keep on doing what you're doing, girl. Okay.
All right. I'm here anytime. Colonel, don't hurt them. You got everybody scared to come on the show. Don't hurt them.
That's what it is, Clue. That's what everybody's afraid of Colonel, Clue. Listen, but he's just like a little puppy dog, just the sweetest he can be. He's got like my dog. My dog got a big bark. Everybody's afraid to come up to my door because of her bark. But if you come in the house, she's lovable. Colonel's lovable too. Okay.
Well, I just believe in coming correct.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, Colonel.
Coming correct.
Come correct.
Thank you again. Y'all take care. I'll see y'all out in the community.
Yes, you will, Clue. Thank you so very much.
Yeah, thanks again for coming on. And I know Clue has never backed down from anything. So
no, that's that basketball.
Come on, it probably was something that was holding her. But anyway, thanks again, and we appreciate it. And Patillo.
And now we have our next guest is in the waiting room, and he's had to wait. He's had to wait a little while now. And Cardell, we thank you for your patience. We thank you for sitting in that waiting room for almost 30 minutes. But
no problem.
Thank you so very much, Cardell. Thank you.
No, thank you all for having me.
Yeah, James? Of course we have Dr. Cardell Patillo. I always wanted to I knew someone a long time ago, and we always call him Patillo. And did that for years until later I found out it was Patillo.
Patillo, yeah.
Played basketball at Wilson. We always call him Patillo. But anyway, Doctor, and we're
As though Wilson was a school, excuse me. Go ahead, doctor. Go, doctor.
at one time, the Greyhounds are here now, but
Yes, yes,
anyway,
yes.
chair of the Portsmouth City School Board, and he's seeking re-election to that school board, and we are proud to have you here. Thanks for coming on or agreeing to come on. And after the Colonel gives his disclaimer again, for those who might be just tuning in, the Colonel will start off the question.
Yes, for those out in electron lands, the views stated on this program are the host and the guest and nobody else, so that keep us out of Facebook jail. But Cardell, glad you came on. Glad you came on, and you didn't run like some of the other sitting city council members and some folks that are running for school board that are scared to come up here to face the public. And so, yes, being an ex-military man, retired, I hate cowardice. And even in the political arena, there's also cowardice there too. And so we're going to give you your medal for showing up today. So yes,
Appreciate that.
yeah.
I do have one request. I
Yes.
have one request. I've blurred out my background because it's my Washington Commanders jersey. So I asked the Colonel to take his head off.
Oh, take your hat off, Colonel. Do it again. Dr. Cardell, tell him again, Dr. Doc. Tell him, Doc.
So,
I'm just kidding.
Background.
no, I will come correct with you and says, if you are ashamed to show your team, let it be blurred out. How do you like that?
I'm just kidding.
I know.
I'll take that.
Colonel,
Yeah.
before you get started, I just have to say this. You mentioned about the school board members. All the school board members have agreed to be up here. None of those have not agreed to be up here. I just wanted to make that clarification.
Okay, yes. Just the other side of the house.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
the other side of the house.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Cardell, so we're riding up in the elevator, you and I put the mic on you, and I asked you for your 3-minute elevator speech on why you want to be reelected. Down and dirty.
Yes.
Give it to me.
Absolutely. I feel like I've earned the vote of the citizens. I've kept my word through my last 2 campaigns with all of my platforms. Everything that I promised, I fulfilled. And I think that they trust me enough now to know that decisions I make is always going to be for the best of the students, the staff, and for the families. Everything from teacher retention to pay increases to the expansion of CTE, all those things that I stated that I want to do, we have. When I first campaigned in 2014, we had about 5 pathways for career education. Now we have almost 20. So we've continued to increase those. And not only that, we're continuing that because now we're going to start bringing those things in-house. So the programs that were once only held at TCC, we're going to now bring them back into our schools. And that's going to include welding, building construction, HVAC, GoTech, all those things that were now only offered, welding, all things that are only offered at TCC are now going to be brought back in-house. And the main reason for that is because equity plays a major part in my platform as well. And the reason why equity was an issue is because with those programs being housed in TCC, all of our students didn't qualify to take those certifications.
Exactly.
And many of our students who need those certifications, like our students that are at New Directions and other places who don't intend to go to college, they didn't qualify for those programs. So a major part of equity is this. It doesn't matter what your socioeconomic status is, where you come from, your ethnicity, everyone should have the same access to the same pathways, and bringing those things back in house is what's going to make that happen.
But you know what? And I'm glad you used the word equity. And I also want to put another tag on that. It says economic equity, because if I achieve one of those, not everybody is going to go to college. And if I get one of those and achieve one of those trades that you just mentioned, I'm going to do well. And I could parlay that into my own business, and then the sky is unlimited then. And then so I'm glad you mentioned that. But what I have a question for you though is, as we transition out of COVID with basically a year and a half of learning in outside of the classroom, and there are some that says, the statistic says, you know, some of our kids have lagged behind, especially in a lot of minorities that didn't have internet. The parents really didn't keep up with them to push them through, or for other reasons. So how do we catch up educationally and to move forward?
And I'm going to be blunt. Many people say they have plans on how to catch our students up. You'll never be able to catch them up.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
It's lost time.
What we can, yes, exactly. But what we can do is what we're starting to do, is bring all of our tutors back in house, start implementing after school programs again. But the real push needs to be at the state level, and that's so we can start attacking this issue of SOL testing.
Yes.
Because of the stress of SOL testing,
Yes.
it puts our teachers on a schedule of how to teach and what to teach. And the students who are struggling, they're left behind because teachers are being paid to keep up. And if they don't keep up, you know, they're being punished for that by the Department of Education.
Exactly.
So it makes it difficult to help children who are struggling because you have to keep up with those pacing guides they give you with SOL testing. So we are advocating against SOL testing to focus more on student learning, on teacher professional development and things of that sort, so that we can aid our children who are struggling. But there's no such thing as catching up. That time has been lost, but what we can do now is capitalize on the time we have them back in the buildings now.
And
Well, you know what?
go ahead, Dr. Patillo.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the school board currently doing, or what do you plan to do to make sure that we are providing adequate training and development for our teachers so that they can successfully implement your initiatives with the students?
We provided additional, well, from a school board standpoint, we provided additional funding for professional development. Of course, as Dr. Bracy's task as far as how he issues those funds out and how they do that. But I do know that they have started providing mentors now for all of our administrators. They also have gotten involved with universities such as James Madison, ODU, that provide cohorts for professional development as well for our staff. But the main thing, again, is just the time that they're allowed to do it. We have so many stressors now put on us by the state as far as how much time we can use for professional development or for virtual learning days and things of that sort, that we're really in a time crunch as far as how we can do it and how we can implement it. But by bringing in retired teachers and paying them to come in to serve as tutors and possible mentors for our current teachers, will help and aid with that as well.
And, you know, and teachers are feeling now kind of overwhelmed ever since COVID. They were overwhelmed before COVID, but they're really overwhelmed now. And a lot of people are still talking about leaving the profession. What is the Portsmouth School Board doing to retain these teachers and to keep them from dropping out of the system? And financially, and financially,
right?
You know, where are they?
Right. It's a nationwide issue, of course, with that struggle with teacher shortage and teachers leaving the profession. And really, compensation is only a part of it. Again, the strain they feel due to the aspects of testing is one thing, but also since post-COVID, student behaviors and mental health issues have become an issue in the classroom as well. But just recently, we did give the largest pay increase in the last 25 years to our staff. And we've actually been talking about doing a longer weighted compensation study. But the only issue with a compensation study is when those results come back, you have to be ready to act on it. And in order to do that, that would definitely take help from City Council as far as providing additional funding to put them back on track where they should be. Our teachers haven't had step increases in a long time. So we're looking now at how we can provide step increases as well, even before we even do a compensation study. So those things we're actually talking about now in our finance meetings, as far as how we can do that. But that still won't solve the overall issue of the strain and stress our teachers are feeling. They started feeling this years ago
Yes, they did.
with the strain of testing because their hands became handcuffed with what they can teach and how to teach.
Uh-huh.
I often give an example. When I was in Norcom, my 12th grade year, and Mr. Knight was my history teacher.
Uh-huh.
And we learned more in that class about life and consequences and how to survive as an adult, just as much as we did our book studies. But
Mhm.
now they don't have that opportunity anymore. So teachers feel handcuffed and our students are not being prepared when they leave. And we're hurting them because of that.
And no critical thinking, because everything
Right.
is learn for the test, learn for the
Right.
test. So no critical
Right.
thinking is taking part in schools.
But you know what?
Absolutely.
It's
And wait,
important.
one thing, Colonel, Knight is still doing it, Dr. Patillo. He's still at it. He's still at it with the
I'm glad
kids.
to hear that.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead, Colonel.
Yeah, but for a history lesson, the downfall in American K through 12 education started its downfall under the second George Bush as president,
Bush.
when they passed the Leave All the Children's Behind Act, and which was birthed out of the SOL testing that we only teach to a test, an arbitrary test. And then so
one of the other keys to the question you asked about the teacher shortage and teachers leaving the profession is that I serve on a governor's commission for alternatives to teacher licensure. So teacher licensure is a big issue as well.
Yes, it is.
You have some of the greatest classroom educators who have not passed the practice exam.
Exactly.
And we're missing out on their talent and their skills because of that. So right now we're actually in a work group where we're working on how we can lessen the strain of what it would take to become licensed and also to retain your license. And we should see positive changes with that coming out this year. And that should help us as well as far as gaining more talent.
Yes, yes.
So with the teacher shortage, are we not trying to go to what they're doing down in Florida and Texas, where they're going to, because they've run off all the teachers, and with all the mandates that you can't say this, you can't say that, or with pronouns and whatever nouns, that they're going to a 4-day-a-week program, and even shorten the days that they're there, and basically saying y'all go out here and play football. That's the only thing they do down in Texas now. And are we not headed that way because teacher shortage?
No. Number one thing is the General Assembly passed a law that enforces that all public schools have to be in school 5 days a week, in-person learning. So that's definitely how it's going to be with that. But I will say, as far as recruitment, very rarely do you see a superintendent go out and recruit himself, but Dr. Bracy actually goes to recruitment fairs himself at colleges across the country trying to recruit teachers. So not only is our HR staff doing it, but he's doing it personally. Whatever events that he attends for his sons, that may be homecoming or those events, he's actually recruiting there as well. And he has tables set up. So we're really recruiting and doing all we can to get more talent and retain our talent, but it's going to take some help from a state level to do that.
Unfortunately, we have a Confederate folks up there in the top 3 seats in the state government, and so I don't look for that to help down here. They'll send all that money to the rural section, the rural part of the country, and this is Indian country down here, to use a paraphrase that. But what I want to ask you is about STEM education, because I believe in addition to the trades, we need to get better in STEM. Can you address that?
Yeah, I'll say first off that Portsmouth is the only. It's science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And right now, Portsmouth is actually the only school division in the area where we can say that we have complete equity when it comes to our STEM program, because every 4th grade student go through our STAR-based program. And all other school divisions, children either have to choose to go through STEM education, or they're selected based on their academic criteria. But in Portsmouth, we ensure that all of our students go through our program. In fact, Dr. Brayson and I, we had the opportunity to present nationally for Jason Learning at the National Superintendent's Conference. And after our presentation, they decided to do a cohort right in our city and to visit the Starbase lab and to check out our STEM program, our robotics program, because of how robust it is. So we actually have a very good STEM program here in Portsmouth already implemented, but Portsmouth is actually being watched. We have a professor from LSU who heard our presentation. He wants to bring his environmental studies program from his school to the city of Portsmouth to do environmental studies on seawater rise and all those things that actually offer internships to our own high school students for that program. So we're open to partnering with other colleges and universities. We've talked with Virginia State University as well with their environmental studies program. So we're trying to bring as much as we can into the city of Portsmouth because of where we're located. We're a seaport city. It's STEM all around us. So we're definitely doing that. As far as the arts, we've had our art students, they in fact just won first and second prize for the Virginia School Board Association art contest, right from Portsmouth. Every other student, every other division competed in the same contest, but Portsmouth students, they came out victorious. So those are the things that I think we should shout about and preach about because we're doing a great job and our students are amazing when it comes to arts and the STEM. You look at our robotics program, they've won nationally. You know, so those things we should actually pay attention to, focus on, and actually get the word out about.
Cardell, I think the STEM program is great, and especially starting at the young age they are. My concern is also about our young students learning a second language, which is, I think is important. And I don't know how much influence y'all have over the curriculum. I think it comes down from the state, but you might have some influence. What about that? You know,
I'm glad you asked that.
And
I'm glad you asked that. Oh, go ahead.
When I took a foreign language waiting until high school, none of that stuck. You know, I don't know but a few words now, but, you know, starting at the elementary and it prepares them for, you know, a lot of jobs now looking for people that have that second language. In all other countries, almost everybody, all the kids can speak English, you know, so because it's required.
I mean, I'll say one of the great things about electing Yolanda Thomas to the school board was one of her platform items was language immersion. And because of that, we've been working on a language immersion program to start foreign language as early as elementary school and even eventually to get to pre-K. But we actually have a meeting on the 24th of this month as to discuss our pilot program and the 2 schools that we're going to start it in. So before the end of this school year, we're going to present a plan that you will see as far as language immersion and how we're going to implement into our elementary schools. So I'm glad you asked that. So that's going to be coming very soon.
Wonderful.
That's good to hear. You know, I think it's very important. So.
And in fact, I'll talk to you, London, if you all be willing to have her on your show to discuss that. I'll make sure she gets a full report from the superintendent staff that she can present to you all first on this show.
Yeah, we had her on the show when she was first running, and she talked about that then. And I just wanted to know if, you know, I know she was still pushing it. I just wanted to know if she had the support of the full board and if, you know, where you were going. So thanks for that update on that.
You know, Cardell, I know we talked about STEM programs and VOTEC. And back in the day, Norcom used to have an LPN program. And is there any talk about bringing that back to the high school? Because and my wife is a graduate of Norcom's LPN program. Fast forward all these years later, you know, she's gone off and got a couple masters, nurse practitioner, all that. But that was the start in healthcare. It'll also stem from our kids going to these for-profit certified nursing assistance programs that basically takes their basic grant, loads them up with another $30,000 of loans that they can never pay back, and with a job that's not going to pay them much. And so if we could give it to them in the high school per se, then they'd come out and I can make a living. So any thought to that?
So we do currently have the CNA program at Wilson. I'm
Right.
sorry, at Manor right now.
Yes.
We do have the CNA program there. Now, I asked, I'm the chair of the board for the board of directors for Centera College of Health and Sciences. And I brought that very subject up because we also have a nursing shortage as well as a teacher shortage.
Yes.
And how we could possibly produce and create our own LPNs to fill those slots. There's something to do with liability now that's changed over the years as to why those college programs are afraid to partner with high school students now before they're 18. But we are looking at it and talking about to see what could possibly be done to do that. But right now, they're afraid to actually offer that to students who are younger than the age of 18. That's what creates an issue for us, most students right now with the LPN program. That is CNA, we already have.
Yeah, it has to be real selective on the student when they go in. It's probably on the clinical side, is when they go into the hospital, you know, to give meds and to do other things that you have to do in healthcare. And especially if you're not mature. And so the selectivity of the student that you pick for those programs have to be at the top of their game. And
Absolutely.
different story. So yes, but there's something I would still pursue, because it's still healthcare. If you get a job in or any training in healthcare, you'll always have a job.
Yeah, I've already connected Craig Hill with the president of the college to see what can possibly come out of that. So that they are definitely looking at it.
And Cardell, I must commend the Portsmouth School Board because you all keep things above board at all times. No matter what, I know when I served, if we became disagreeable, we went in the back room and we talked about it. But we came out as a united front, because not everyone is ever going to agree with every decision that's being made. It's just how you go about bringing those ideas and thoughts together without being confrontational. And so I do want to commend you in your leadership of the Portsmouth School Board, because you all have been doing a superb job. And I appreciate all that you have done. I really do. Having served, I know how hard it is. So I know, and you as chairman,
and you're right.
I know basically what you're going through, but I'm just grateful that you all are a sweet taste in the mouth of the citizens of Portsmouth, okay?
And
Thanks
let me ask you,
so much.
Cardell, one of the main ingredients of a successful school system is parent participation. I know that has a lot to do with the teachers, but I think as school board members, you all can be a great influence as far as spreading the word of the importance. How is that? And what will you be doing going forward if you're reelected to make sure the parents know the importance of their participation in our school system?
Of course, you have to take advantage of your social media outlets and communication systems you have in place. But for me, my main vehicle has always been being there and in person, showing up to parent events, showing up and volunteering in schools, showing up to Title I activities, because Title I, we have the smallest Title I department in the 7 cities, but they're the most active. And if anything, they could use the participation of citizens and school board members to show up to encourage parents to come. I believe parents, when they see us out, it makes them feel like what they're doing is that much more important. So I think more than anything, showing up is always the most important thing that we can do as board members to encourage parent participation, but also to use our vehicles such as social media and other communication devices as well.
And plus, Cardell, your parent liaison program is amazing. I get to work with them on a daily basis. In fact, they call on me too much. They keep me in the schools. They keep the parents in the school. I must commend your Title I program. And Miss Hale and Miss Stills, they are doing an amazing job of getting parents engaged and back into the school through the activities that they're playing in the school system. So I commend you, that group there. They're doing a great job.
And yes, and go ahead.
Go ahead if you wanted to reply to that.
Yeah, I just wanted to say they do an outstanding job, and there are many things that we do because of their assistance, such as our preschool program had their own STEM day. No other preschool program in the 7 cities is having their own STEM program, a STEM day for our students, where they're flying rockets and controlling
Yes.
robots and learning coding. So those are the things we need to get out. That's all a part of our Title I preschool program, and that our parents were there volunteering as aides during that event. So they're doing a great job with it. They are.
James?
One of the things about being a public official, you can't be everywhere all the time. And, you know, I've been to several events, at school events, where there were no representation from the school board. And I know, you know, you think it's possible for maybe going forward, y'all could get together and say, okay, these things are happening, you know, at least a few of y'all could be there. I mean, we had John Carlos at IC Northam, 68 Olympian, and it was no school board members there. And I know it was kind of a short notice, but, you know, and you can't be everywhere, but I've been to other functions that were school related and saw no representation from the school board. So you think that would be something that you could push, or, you know, as far as, you know, because y'all already working so well together, it'd be something that y'all can do to make sure, at least some of the school functions, that at least be one or some representation from the school board. I think that's important.
You know, one of the things we've been discussing is a model that's been used by school board members prior to us, and that's actually trying to divide schools up to where we can actually participate at most, if not all, school events. Because what I've noticed is that because you have so many Norcom alumni on the board, we show up for Norcom stuff. That's our school, you know.
Yeah.
And with me, you know, I have mentoring programs at Parkview and at Waterview, so I'm going to be at those schools. So that those are my mentoring schools. So I guess by trying to divide schools up, actually the neighborhoods where we live, starting that way, I think that'll help us actually to attend more school events and to keep us informed of what's actually going on at all the
That's
schools
right.
as well.
Because you get the real story. When you go to those programs that they have at the school, you get the real message from the parents as well as the teachers when you attend those programs.
Right. Absolutely.
And Leah, I just have to mention this, and it might be because of the shortness of the notification of the John Carlos event. We had a school from a coach from Virginia Beach to bring his basketball team to meet this guy, because he understood how important it was. And John Carlos, Dr. John Carlos, took time out and really talked to those young men and gave them some life lessons that I think we missed out. Now, the good part of that, he's going to do that annually, but hopefully he'll be able to come back, you know, a few more times before, you know, because he, you know, was struggling to even walk that day. So, but it was curious to me that a school from Virginia Beach came, or the coach, and this coach went to Booker T. It wasn't like he was a Portsmouth school member, and he saw the importance to bring those young men to meet this historic, the historic act that this young man, this man brought in the 1968 Olympics. So hopefully going forward, you know, that the word would get out a little bit more. I think it was out enough, you know, for us to have, but I understand now there's a whole lot of things going on, you know, within the schools, cheerleader competitions and all that sort of carried people away. But it just kind of hurt my feelings to see a school from Virginia Beach come, and we had the legend right here in the city of Portsmouth.
And I can just say for myself, I actually found out about it the day before, and I'm not sure if I overlooked it or not. And I actually was in Maryland for my football game for that weekend. But definitely, if I know ahead of time, I'll definitely be there.
Well, it's
it was a little shorter than usual, but you know, we really tried to push it out, and not real disappointed because of the short notice. And the mayor even promised next year the city will be involved as far as promoting that, because we can't let that kind of history, as we talk about people trying to, and I'm gonna get into Colonel's territory, people trying to cut us out of our history, you know, say Black history, and Black history is American history. let's just say it. So
And-
they
and
trying to
Cal-
cut us
and-
out of our history. And when we have people like that come into our city, it almost can be a once in a lifetime
Mhm.
situation. That's why I made it a point. I missed my school's homecoming, Virginia Union's homecoming, because I knew this guy was coming. And I didn't think I would have another opportunity, but I hope I do. But anyway, I just had to make that point, and I understand.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
And Dr. Patillo,
Great day, though.
he did,
really.
he
Yes,
did,
ma'am.
he did leave here as an honorary member of the IC Norcom Alumni Association.
Leah
And
gets
his
some,
son,
Right.
and his son and his grandson
the
are
whole
now
thing.
members of the IC Norcom Alumni Association, okay?
So that means when he comes back, you have to announce him as the Asinoka
As-
alumni that's
There
coming
you go.
and
Exactly
returning.
right. That's exactly right. And I hope that you plan to participate in our parade on October 29th. I sent you the flyer. I sent you the
Dr.
application.
Cotton gave it to me. No, Dr. Cotton
Yeah,
gave
I
it to
told
me.
Cotton to give it to
I'm
you.
actually going. Yeah, I'm actually going to be in Alabama next week, presenting at the Alabama State Superintendent's Conference.
The 29th, darling, not next week.
No, the week of the 26th through the 30th.
Oh, okay.
I'll be there.
I'm not gonna let you off that easy now.
Yeah. Actually, Dr. Bracy and I will be presenting there on that.
But will you be in
that week.
Birmingham?
Yes, we will.
Well, I got some
The
great friends
conference.
in Birmingham. I need to tell them they need to come and take you all out and show y'all what good Birmingham barbecue is, okay?
Oh, my doctor said I don't need the barbecue, but I made ignore him on that day.
Okay. As we wind down, I guess we'll have last statements or comments by our host and our guests. And hopefully our audience got a chance to see a little bit more of Dr. Patillo, and which is our purpose, to having this kind of format, to give people an opportunity to really see you and make an informed decision on November 8th. So we appreciate you coming on and sharing, answering our questions and sharing your comments.
Okay, well, Dr. Cardell C. Patillo Jr., thank you for coming on Portsmouth Coffee Talk. It has been a pleasure having you today and to listen to you share with us your platform and to share with us all the good things that has taken place under your leadership as chairman of the Portsmouth School Board. So I want to once again say thank you, and thank you for taking good care of my cousin. You know, I said Dr. Brace is my cousin. So thank you for taking good care of my cousin as you all travel
No
about.
problem.
And Angela and Martin Weinberg in Birmingham, Alabama, my cousin and my son will be there the weekend of the 29th. And I expect for you all to find them and treat them well. But anyway, thank you, Cardell. Thank you so very much. And we wish you well in this campaign as you run again for Portsmouth School Board. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Colonel?
Yeah, Cardell, thank you for coming on today. If I have one question, I just got to get it off there. And
Yes.
this is probably an education piece that you can answer for the public, or out here in electron lands. So we always talk about pre-K education, and over long-term studies, how is that affecting our kids that go to pre-K and those who don't, and their long-term effect? And then the other second question to that is a debate between public education and what they call choice or charter schools. And we all know charter schools popped up because of the race question, because they want to go back to the segregation and take us away from, being educated with those other folks. Can you touch on both of those? I know they're loaded, but
Yeah.
I figure I got you now.
Oh, no, absolutely. I'm gonna give you a very straightforward, honest answer for both. Pre-K, that's actually my wheelhouse. I'm a Head Start director as my full-time job, and we offer pre-K services for age 3 to 5, which is a federally funded program. Number one, there are not enough pre-K slots that are funded by the federal government and by the state to provide adequate early childhood education to our students. That's number one. So it's been proven through modules, through data, that students who attend pre-K are more successful when they bridge into kindergarten, and that carries with them throughout their educational career. For those that don't attend pre-K, not saying they won't be successful, but we've seen challenges with that to where they have a tougher time adapting. And it's not just academically. You have to understand that in many of our children's environments and homes, that they're not too structured. So to bring a child who hasn't dealt with the structured environment and throw him into an environment that's completely structured, it tends to transpire into negative behaviors and things of that sort as well. So we have to look at it from all aspects. But we need to make pre-K universally funded by the federal government, by the state, because all of our students need access to early childhood education. And right now, those VPI slots, they're not guaranteed to everyone. There are income requirements and all those things in order for you to do it. So just because my parents are not considered living in poverty doesn't mean I don't need access to early childhood education for that. And even because the income levels are so low, just because you don't qualify for that doesn't mean you can afford to pay and send your child to childcare. So it puts our parents and our families, especially those in minority areas, at a disadvantage. And that's something that needs to be recognized globally, not just here in Virginia and the United States. When it comes to charter and choice, I'm very pro public education. I am. I do believe there are some settings to where some students can benefit from a different and a smaller class setting, but not for the reason that they're trying to push it in Richmond right now. In Richmond, they're pushing it, I believe, to segregate students and to separate them and to give an advantage to a certain population. That I don't agree with. But if you're talking about how we can put certain students in smaller class settings to where they can thrive and where they can grow, I'm all for that. I'm for public charter schools.
Yes.
And by that, I mean, those are charter schools that are still governed by local superintendents and by local school boards. And people don't know we have a local charter school that's public. Green runs a public charter school. But you have to look at the areas in and look at who benefits from it.
Yeah.
So I believe that we can have successful charter programs intertwined with public programs as well, if they're governed by public school superintendents. By doing that, that means you're not taking funding from needed schools and needed students to put them in private institutions, but you still have that same funding pot to make sure we can allocate it where it's needed. And I believe that needs to be addressed as well. It won't happen until we have a change in Richmond, but I believe everyone should keep their minds open. Don't necessarily be turned off when you hear the word charter school, but make sure you know what kind of program they're referring to. Because there are some students that I mentor that can really benefit from a smaller classroom setting.
Exactly.
But they still need the interaction and the support of public education.
And can I ask one quick question, James? I know we have to go, but I wanted to get it in earlier. What impact has this Virginia online school had on the Portsmouth school system? Because I know a lot of the children who are still at home, getting their classes online. Has that had a major impact on the Portsmouth school system?
I won't say it's had a major impact on us. The children who chose to stay, the parents actually like the program, but we are using, just so the public would know, we are still having to use our public funding dollars to pay for those slots.
Oh, okay.
So just because they're taking classes online doesn't mean it's freeing up additional funds for us. We pay for those slots.
Okay.
So the reason why our families are not paying for it is because we're paying for it.
Okay.
So it has impacted us when it comes to that, because we have to pay for those slots with Virginia Online Learning. So we are impacted with that. And then when you start coupling it with introducing lab schools and things of that sort, we have to be real and understand that public education is in a tough spot right now. Now, I don't like to say we're under attack, but we're definitely not getting additional support that we need.
are under attack.
So and I want people to really recognize that, so before you're so critical about public education and local school divisions trust that we are the best hope that our children have to be successful, and we have to continue to fight for that.
Okay, and
Yeah.
so Cardell is running for one of the 4 seats, which will be vacant on the Portsmouth School Board. People, voting time has already started. Make sure you vet your candidates and get out there and cast that ballot. Know who these individuals are and make sure that they're going to do those things that will be beneficial to you and your children. So one of 4 seats, Dr. Cardell Patillo is vying for one. Thank you so much for coming on, Dr. Patillo.
Yes,
James?
and Leah, going forward, I won't be stopping because of, in the interest of time, because I think the information that we get
It's
from
too
you-
good. It's too, yeah, and the public need it.
Going forward, everybody else will get more time. We won't have a time limit. And I apologize to the ones that came on before that didn't get as much time, but I think the substance or of their content was very important as well. So,
Exactly. Thank you,
uh,
James.
So, Dr.
I just want to say, anytime when it's not campaign season, please invite me for any questions or issues you all want to discuss off season as well. I'd be happy to come
Sure.
on.
We'll definitely keep you in mind because you've been on here before and one thing I like about you, you're very candid with your answers. And that's what we need from our leadership.
Exactly.
And just telling it like it is. I'll take that turn back. How sweet it is. Okay, thanks everyone. And Colonel, any last
Thank you.
statements you'd like to throw in there?
No, because if you open it up, I'm gonna have to ask some more questions. So, but we did start late, so we did just go a little bit over. So we're not
Yeah.
as late as what you think we late. So, but Cardell, thank you for everything, and I just love dialoguing with you.
Yes.
Yes, and we wish
Thank
you
anytime.
campaign, and Portsmouth Coffee Talk is here for our voice.
Our community.
In our future.
All
And
right.
to you,
and
Dr. Cardell. To you, Dr.
Thank you.
Cardell Patillo. Okay.
Time to go watch the Commanders play.
All
Yeah.
right. You and my son-in-law. He probably got all his colors on right now, you
Yeah.
know?
next time, show your wall. Don't blurt it out. know,
I'll do that.
At least put a Q sign back there or something, Put a mega sign back there.
Will do.
Mhm.
All right,
All
brother.
right,
Take
thank
care.
y'all so
Okay,
much.
guys, take
All right.
care.
All right.